Okay, we have one more item. This deals with the dog festival in China.
So my name is Wayne. I'm a lawyer, animal activist, and a resident of Berkeley. I, like many Chinese folks from the region I'm from, Guangzhou, China, are horrified by the illegal criminal enterprise that, frankly, even the folks in the Chinese government in Beijing want to condemn. And the reason I think this is relevant to the city of Berkeley is because Berkeley, as a city with an international reputation, has a unique opportunity to have an impact on this campaign, to spare 20 million dogs from unspeakable torture. And one of the dogs who was tortured is sitting here, right here, with us today. This is Oliver, a dog that I personally rescued from the pits of Yulin. The Chinese government often does not act in response to domestic agitation because China obviously does not have the best reputation of responding to domestic concerns. So despite the fact that there are millions of Chinese, including 100,000 people, rallied in Beijing just a few months ago, opposed to this violent, torturous trade, the Chinese government needs a little push to respond.
It creates a precedence for our city, not only to acknowledge that this is happening across the world, but it creates a precedence for us to say that if we are transporting dogs or other animals in these manners, that we should, in fact, act.
Whenever I talk to my friends or family about these issues of animal abuse and the dog meat trade, everyone gets really, really embarrassed because they feel like there's this notion of like Chinese people being savages for doing this. And I don't think the right thing to do is to exploit our own animals in different regions of the world and not point fingers at anyone. I think it's better to end the suffering of animals everywhere.
This is an instance, I believe, of a lot of Chinese Americans and Chinese people in general looking for support from something like this, from a place like Berkeley. And the way that it relates to our city is that, Wayne is a resident, and he took this chance, and he did something really amazing. And I think that's something we should celebrate and be proud of.
We should also be introspective towards our own. So let's get on board with what 99% of people are on board with already, and let's also open up an honest dialogue about the horrible things that are happening also here in the United States.
I generally have a difficult time with Berkeley City Council weighing in on these types of international affairs. This type of proposal could be perceived as reflecting a type of American exceptionalism and moral relativism that I'm uncomfortable with.
I've had at least one dog in my life on a permanent basis since about 1981. I've loved them all, but I agree with Councilmember Drosty's comments on this issue. I think this is really quite a reach, and I think we should be spending our time focusing on probably the animals in our own community.
We're not trying to tell China what to do. We're trying to support the Chinese activists.
I really reject the notion that's often voiced on this dais that it's none of our business, something that's going on in the world. There's a place for this isolationist view of the world, but not here in Berkeley, I don't think. Even though you don't have a direct impact on us right here, we have a moral obligation to support those who are engaged in activities and activism that advance sane policies in the world.
This is to approve the resolution for item 20. Councilmember Mayo?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Arreguín?
Yes.
Capitelli? Wengraf? Worthington?
Yes.
Drosty?
Abstain.
Mayor Bates?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay.